Hi there everybody, welcome along to the Big Quiz Night In. I hope you're all doing well. It is episode 110 today. We've had a few weeks off unfortunately, but we are back now, and just as you'd expect, we've got 3 quiz rounds coming up. We've also got our game shows round, and then following on from that, we'll have news on Patreon quiz for next week as well. For those of you who are Patreons, that'll be next week, and then we'll be back with Facebook Lives again as usual after that, I'm sure. So who have we got here this evening? Lovely little turnout I can see in the chat, and somebody's already made a little appearance. Right, okay, we've got Pinky and the Brainer here. Hello to you both, welcome along. We have from sunny, windy Blackpool Bar Stewards, Chris, thank you for being here, hope you're doing good. And Sue and the Donuts saying good evening as well in the chat. And Millie's here for the start of the quiz. Wow, I'm glad you could be here on time. It's lovely to have you here. And there's Eric as well saying good evening everyone in the chat as well. I'm really pleased you could all be here this evening. Anybody else is watching, feel free to say hello in the chat. Don't be shy, but no pressure of course. We'll find out about that in a moment. But for now, let's move on to our first section of the quiz to get you some bonus points to kick off the show. We have, of course, my kids coming along. But will it be one, both, or the other? Let's find out. It's hiding down there at the moment. So let's do your bonus question now. And we have both of them, and a little creeper friend as well. Yes.
Because of the question, you'll see why.
Because of the question. Camera's up here, guys. Okay. All right. So let's bring the question up. And if you guess this right in the chat, you get yourself bonus points. Okay. So let's bring up the question. Abby, since we decided on what the question was, you read the question out, and then Ruben can do the answers. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So let's bring up the question.
What is the new Minecraft game called that was released today?
Okay, what's the new Minecraft game called that was released today? Ruben, you read these out for me.
Was it A, Minecraft Heroes, B, Minecraft Legends, C, Minecraft Nether Takeover, or D, Minecraft Bedrock?
A, B, C or D. Guess in the comments, please. Everyone that gets it right gets themselves bonus points for their team. Let's see how many of you guessed this correctly. Have you played it as well today, or was it just Ruben? No. Okay, just Ruben's played it today. So
it's really fun.
Yeah, it looks quite fun. All right, let's see. We've got some guesses coming in then. Right, okay, there's a few of them coming in. Anybody else want to have a guess? Give you a few more seconds. And let's see. Let's just have a quick check. I think that might well be everybody that might have a guess. Oh, okay. Ruben's a natural.
Yeah, I got prepared for this.
He got prepared for this. Complete guess. Right, okay. Abby, why don't you read out these out, and then Ruben can see who the winner is. So who we got? Chris saying B, yeah? Sue saying D, yeah? Eric saying D. Gabby saying C. And Ed saying B. Alright, so I'm going to reveal the answer now, and let's see who's got bonus points tonight. Ruben, what's the answer?
It is B! Minecraft Legends came out today. It's an action strategy game.
Okay, so Abby, who's got points then?
Chris.
Chris has got points.
And
Ed's got points. You both said B, so you've got bonus point there for your team. You can add that to your total for any of your quiz rounds this evening. Great, okay, there we go. Eric said complete guess. Well, this is the hope, really. We want you to have a complete guess. So, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Don't you worry. Okay, all right, so that's it then for the kids. Thank you for being so prepared and ready for me, guys. And as always, we'll see who joins us for the next one. So, yeah, say goodnight, guys.
Good night.
Okay, that's it. Wow, okay, yeah, I wasn't expecting the little creeper friend to interrupt there, but that was fun. Okay, you'll also note as soon as we are starting our rounds tonight, the subjects are along the bottom, but we do also have a different kind of picture round. I've replaced for this week the Countdown Conundrum because I watched Have I got news for you? A little bit of that last night, and it's always funny. I don't watch it religiously, but I watched some of it last night, and I thought I could do that. I could do that on the quiz. And so I have. I've found some funny headlines. You have to guess the missing word from the headline. Now, don't put it in the chat. Okay, don't put it in the comments yet. Have a think throughout this first quiz round what you think that missing word could be from that headline. If you do get it right, you can have 2 bonus points, just like I normally would for these kind of rounds. But at the end of the round, once I've gone through all the answers, except for this one, we'll see if any of you want to guess in the chat. And I thought that might be quite a fun little way to mix it up a little for our quizzes here. So we'll give it a try. And then, yeah, if you get it right, even if you don't put it in the comments, it's fine. You get yourself 2 points. So the first quiz round we're going to do this evening is a geography round. And then we're going to do pop music trivia and then famous Georges, because I think it's this coming Saturday, St. George's Day. So we don't, I don't know about you, but we don't really celebrate it. So this is an alternative St. George's Day quiz round. So it's famous Georges, but nothing to do with actual St. George. So we'll see how you go with that one as well. But for now, we are going into our geography round. And for each quiz round, as always, keep your answers to yourselves, please. At the end of the quiz round, I'll go through all the answers and we'll see how well you've done. And then you can put your team scores in the comments once we've revealed what the answer is for the missing words headline as well. And I think that's about it. Let's make a start. Okay, question number 1. The Isle of Man is in which body of water? The Isle of Man is in which body of water? That is question number 1. Question number 2. What is the currency of Russia? What is the currency of Russia? Okay, question 3. This one is for 3 points. What colours, or which 3 colours, are the stripes on the national flag of Ecuador? Which colours are the 3 stripes on the national flag of Ecuador? 1 point for each. You don't need to put them in the correct order or anything, just 1 point for each. Okay then, your next question then, question number 4. What is the name of Africa's highest mountain? What is the name of Africa's highest mountain? That is question number 4. Okay, question number 5. In which countries could you visit Mecca, the Angel Falls, and the Acropolis? So 1 point for each there again. In which countries can you visit Mecca, the Angel Falls, and the Acropolis? Yes, very excited about our catchphrase round towards the end of the show because I have got some proper animated catchphrase videos for you. So it'll be quite fun. I think you will like them. I think probably 2 of them are very easy. One of them a little bit trickier, but it's going to be fun. Okay, question number 6 now. This one's for another 3 points. Nashville, Little Rock, and Providence are the capitals of which US states? Nashville, Little Rock, and Providence are the capitals of which US states? 1 point for each. Quite a few multiple point questions in this round. Loads of chances to get a good score. So Nashville, Little Rock, and Providence are the capitals of which US states? Question number 7 now. Which American city is served by the George Bush Intercontinental Airport? Which American city is served by the George Bush Intercontinental Airport? All right, question 8 now for another 3 points. What are the capital cities of Colombia, Egypt, and Indonesia? What are the capital cities of Colombia, Egypt, and Indonesia? Question 9 now, question number 9. In which British city could you visit the grave of J.R.R. Tolkien? In which British city could you visit the grave of J.R.R. Tolkien? Who's this in the chat? Jan's here. Good evening, everyone. Slight delay, but had challenges putting little one to sleep. Oh, bless you, mate. That's fine. Happy to have you here as always. That's great. In case you're wondering what's going on down here with the news headline looking thing, you need to work out what the missing word is that's blanked out there from this amusing headline from a few years ago. If you can guess that right at the end, I'll give bonus points, of course, to anybody that can work it out. Other than that, we're going through a geography quiz round. Question 10 for you now. Question 10. LAR is the International Vehicle Registration Code for which country? LAR is the International Vehicle Registration Code for which country? For 1 point, name the country. Okay, then question 11 now. 3 more points here. Question 11. Which movies starring Brad Pitt, Eddie Murphy, and Forrest Whitaker mention a country in the titles? Which movies starring Brad Pitt, Eddie Murphy, and Forrest Whitaker mention a country in their titles? 1 point for each. 3 different movies. Then question number 12 now. Question 12. Put these 3 European countries into the correct order of size with the largest first. Finland, Poland, and Sweden. Put these 3 European countries into the correct order of size with the largest first. Finland, Poland, and Sweden. That one is also for 3 points if you get them in the correct order. Finland, Poland, and Sweden. Again, those 3 countries in the correct order of size, largest first. Question number 13 now. Question 13. What is the national language of Bangladesh? What is the national language of Bangladesh? Two more questions for you, and they're both worth multiple points. Okay, question 14 is for 3 points. Which are the 3 most populated cities in the state of California? Which are the 3 most populated cities in the state of California? And finally, for 2 more points, question 15. What official names are given to people who come from the cities of Amsterdam and Oxford? What official names are given to people who come from the cities called Amsterdam and Oxford? Right, so that's the end of the question round then. So if you want any questions repeated, let me know. Give you a bit more thinking time, of course, if we do that for anybody. And then we will go through the answers in just a moment. Try and work out what that missing word is as well from the headline across the bottom of the screen there. Man brings blank to a house party. What is that blank? What could it be? If you do happen to get it right, then it'll be 2 points for you on top of whatever your score is for this quiz round. I will ask, once I've gone through the answers, I think, because I'll give you all a bit more thinking time. When I've gone through the answers for the geography round, I'll give you an opportunity to have a guess in the comments what you think that missing word is, if you want to. And then I'll tell everybody, and you can mark yourselves for 2 bonus points accordingly if you get them. And don't forget, for those 2 teams who got bonus points for Abby and Rue's question earlier, you can add that on as well. For this round, the pop music round next, or the famous Georges round in third. Okay. Any more repeats before we go through the answers for this round? Last call for that. I think that's about it. Okay, let me just check my other screen to make sure I'm not missing anything. No, okay, good. Right, let's go through the answers then. 1 point for each as always. Question 1. The Isle of Man is in which body of water? It is the Irish Sea. Question 2. The currency of Russia is the Russian ruble. Question 3. The colours on the 3 stripes of the national flag of Ecuador. 1 point for each. They are yellow, blue, red. Question 4. Africa's highest mountain is Mount Kilimanjaro. It's got 3 peaks, with Kibo being its highest, but Mount Kilimanjaro is the name of the overall mountain. Question 5 for 3 points. In which countries could you visit Mecca, the Angel Falls, and the Acropolis? For 3 points, it's Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, and Greece. Question 6. Nashville, Little Rock, and Providence are the capitals of which US states? That is Tennessee, Arkansas, and Rhode Island. Question 7. Which American city is served by George Bush Intercontinental Airport? That is Houston. Question 8. The capital cities of Colombia, Egypt, and Indonesia are Bogota, Cairo, and Jakarta. Question 9. In which British city could you visit the grave of J.R.R. Tolkien? That is Oxford. It's actually in Wolvercote, but it's technically Oxford as the city. Question 10. LAR is the International Vehicle Registration Code for which country? That is Libya. Stands for Libyan Arab Republic, LAR. Question 11. Which movies starring Brad Pitt, Eddie Murphy, and Forrest Whitaker mention a country in their titles? It is 7 Years in Tibet, Coming to America, and The Last King of Scotland. Question 12. Put these 3 European countries into the correct order of size, with the largest first. Now, the 3 I gave you again were Finland, Poland, and Sweden, but largest first, it is Sweden, then Finland, and then Poland. Don't worry, Jan, size isn't everything. Question 13. What is the national language of Bangladesh? It is Bengali. Question 14. What are the 3 most populated cities in the state of California? It is Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Jose. And finally, question 15. What are the official names for people who come from Amsterdam and from Oxford? 1 point for each. It is the Amsterdammer and Oxonian. Although I very, very rarely, if ever, living near Oxford, have ever heard anyone called an Oxonian, but that is the official name. I think it's a very old-fashioned thing, a very outdated thing now, but I could be wrong, but I've never experienced it being used. But still, Amsterdammer if you're from Amsterdam, and apparently Oxonian if you're from Oxford. Okay, that's the end of those answers. Now, does anybody fancy having a guess in the comments at what you think the missing word is for the headline? Man brings blank to a house party. If you want to have a guess in the comments, you can do so now. If you also want a question repeated or the answers of that question repeated, now is the time to do that as well. Again, let me know in the comments and we shall see. If not, if you don't fancy it, then I will just reveal what the answer is. But I'd love to see what you think. Okay, brilliant. Right, Sue's gone for horse. Eric's gone for bricks. Gabby says, I thought llama would be fun. That would be fun. That would actually be fun, bringing a llama to a party. I love that. Very good. Any more for any more? Wanting to have a guess at that one. What could a man bring to a house party that would lead to it being a headline in a newspaper? Okay. I can tell you now that somebody's got themselves 2 points already. I'll come to your comment once I've revealed it, Jan, because that looks interesting as well. Okay, all right, so I'm going to remove the block now. Let's see. Man brings horse to a house party. Sue, maybe you saw that episode. I don't know. Well done. It's horse. You've got 2 points there. And if anybody else happened to have a guess and put horse, you were right. 2 points extra there. Tally up your scores. Let me know how well you did. In the meantime, let's read that comment there from Jan. Fun fact about Kilimanjaro and mountains in general. A friend of mine who is just 1 year older than Chris and myself is the youngest Polish woman to achieve the crown of the world, all of the highest mountains on each continent. That is some achievement. Kind of puts what I've achieved in life to shame, thinking about it that way. Thanks for pointing out her age. That is amazing. Millie says they only got 10 points. That's all right. Eric says 16 points for the Blackpool Bar Stewards. Let's see. Anybody else put your scores in? Jan says, damn, I was thinking that I need to come up with the word for the hashtag. Oh, mate. No. The hashtag is from our Patreon quiz nights. Okay, every Patreon quiz night, if we don't play the game called Blockbusters, we always have a laugh and reference it. There's a very famous, basically, that there's letters on the screen, and you have to guess what the answer is to the question, and the answer begins with the letter that's on the screen. And more often than not, some of those letters are the letter P. And on the TV show, they would always say, oh, can I have a P please, Bob, as a running joke, because they were asking for a question about the letter P, but it sounds like they're asking to go to the toilet. So the hashtag there, because I play Blockbusters and run Blockbusters on my Patreon quiz nights sometimes, is can I have a P please, Chris? And it's abbreviated in our Patreon group, Facebook group, separate to the Top Fan group. And quite often Martin in particular will reference that. So I always try and drop it into the Patreon quiz in some way, shape or form. Annoyingly, he and his team only really come to the Patreon quiz nights now, and they can't always make it to the Facebook Live. So I don't think he's actually seen that yet. I have told him about it though, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what that's all about. Sorry. No, don't worry. There's 2 more headlines in the next round, so you'll get to do this again. All right. So, Gabby says Pinky and the Brain have got 23 points. That is impressive. And Sue says Donuts have got 21 points. Helped, of course, by the fact you managed to guess horse as the missing word there. Right, well done. I hope you're liking these headlines for a change. It's going to be a bit tricky if I do this more often to find ones that fit in the space I've got for them. But I think this will work quite nicely. We won't do it every week. We'll mix it up a bit, but still, yeah, I hope you like it. Okay then, so round number 2. Oh, and Jan says 17 points for me. Very well done. Gosh, you caught up quickly there. Well done. Okay, so the headline's on screen already. People find it difficult to get rid of their grandmother's what? Have a guess at the end, remember. Write it down now, by all means. But guess when I tell you to at the end in the comments. Let's see what funny answers we can come up with and if any of them are actually right. People find it difficult to get rid of their grandmother's what? Fill in the blank. Okay, so round 2 then is a pop music trivia round. Many of you have done these before with me, so it'll be very similar format. All kinds of music, all kinds of popular music, pop chart kind of music is covered as always. From way back in the 60s right up to the 2000s and 2010 plus. So hopefully a little bit of something for everybody. Let's see how you go with this one then. Okay, Question number 1. For 2 points, which acts duetted on the 2018 single called Shallow? Which acts, for 2 points, there's 2 people, which acts duetted on the 2018 single called Shallow? Okay, question number 2. Prince performed the theme song for which superhero movie? Prince performed the theme song for which superhero movie? Right, question number 3. This is for 3 points. Which acts had the best-selling 1960s UK hit singles called Bad Moon Rising, Albatross and Waterloo Sunset? Which acts had the best-selling 1960s UK hit singles called Bad Moon Rising, Albatross and Waterloo Sunset? Right, question number 4 then, question 4. What was the title of Adele's first solo UK number 1 hit single? What was the title of Adele's first solo UK number 1 hit single? Question 5 now for 2 more points. Which song by which act charted around the world after the 1998 film called Armageddon came out? Which song by which act charted around the world after the 1998 film called Armageddon came out? That's sad about Bruce Willis. He's got dementia, I think. Seen his family share videos of them all on TikTok, and he's doing okay, but of course the press are hounding him wherever he goes still, asking how he is. It's like, that's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to be causing him extra stress, poor guy. Yeah, cracking film though. I love a silly disaster movie. Right, question number 6 now. Question 6. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s singles called Easy, American Pie and Maggie May? 1 point for each again. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s hit singles called Easy, American Pie and Maggie May? Right then, let's move on. Your next question. Question 7. What was the title of Girls Aloud's debut hit single? What was the title of Girls Aloud's debut hit single? Controversial opinion, I would say it was also their best song, and they never got any better than that. Although they had a few good ones. From a DJ point of view, I've played many of them over the years, but that was always my favourite, and it was their first. Question 8 now. Question 8. Who made the UK singles chart first between the Righteous Brothers and the Walker Brothers? Who made the UK singles chart first between the Righteous Brothers and the Walker Brothers? Choose one. Question number 9 now. This one is for 3 more points. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called You're the Best Thing, New Song and Personal Jesus? Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called You're the Best Thing, New Song, and Personal Jesus? Okay, hold on. In the chat, what is this? Jan says, not to jinx it, but I feel good about this round. We shall see. All right. Question number 10. By what name is Farrokh Bulsara better known to the music world? By what name is Farrokh Bulsara, F-A-R-R-O-K-H, Bulsara, B-U-L-S-A-R-A? By what name is he better known to the music world? I'll be astounded if you don't know who this person is. You might not know the connection between their real name and what they were known as, but once you've heard the answer, you will know who this person is, most definitely. I certainly hope so, anyway. Maybe it's a generational thing, though. We shall see. All right. Question 11 now. Cliff Richard, Kylie Minogue, and Gunn had UK hit singles with which 3 devilish songs? Cliff Richard, Kylie Minogue, and Gunn had a UK hit single with which 3 devilish songs? 1 point for each. 3 different songs, 3 different titles, so 1 point for each. That's question 11. Okay, question number 12 then is for 3 more points. Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s singles called Man on the Moon, Sit Down, and One of Us? Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s singles called Man on the Moon, Sit Down, and One of Us? Question number 13 now, question 13. These are the days of the open hand is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? These are the days of the open hand is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? That's for 2 points then. 1 point for the act and 1 point for the title. Right, 2 more questions to go, and they are both worth 3 points. Question number 14. The Crickets, the Wailers, and the Waves were which chart-topping acts backing bands? Of course, 1 point for each again. The Crickets, the Wailers, and the Waves were which chart-topping acts backing bands? 1 point for each. And your final question then is question 15. Just like the previous ones we've done, we're now on to the noughties. So which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Milkshake, American Boy, and Can't Stand Me Now? Which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Milkshake, American Boy, and Can't Stand Me Now? Does anybody need a question repeated? If so, let me know in the comments as always. And what we'll do again is I'll go through the answers for the question round. Then I'll see if you want to have a guess in the comments at what the missing words could be for that news headline. And then I'll reveal the answer for that. And then we'll see how well you did. 2 points again if you can guess the missing words. Or even if you think you're close enough, you can give yourself 2 points, I think. Right, question number 9 then. Let's repeat that for Sue and the Donuts. Question 9. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called You're the Best Thing, New Song, and Personal Jesus? That is question number 9. Okay. And any more for any more? If not, I shall go through the answers now. You might think of some more answers as we go through them, I suppose. Okay. Question number 1. Which acts duetted on the 2018 single called Shallow? That is, for 2 points, Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Question 2. Prince performed the theme song for which superhero movie? He performed on Batman, the original Batman the movie with Michael Keaton as Bruce Wayne and Batman. Question 3. Which acts had the best-selling 1960s UK hit singles called Bad Moon Rising, Albatross and Waterloo Sunset? Bad Moon Rising was by Creedence Clearwater Revival, Albatross by Fleetwood Mac, and Waterloo Sunset by the Kinks. Right, question 4. What was the title of Adele's first solo UK #1 hit single? That was Someone Like You. Question 5. Which song by which act charted around the world after the 1998 film Armageddon came out? It was I Don't Want to Miss a Thing by Aerosmith. 2 points there. Question 6 is for 3 points. Which acts had the best-selling 1970s hit singles called Easy, American Pie, and Maggie May? It's the Commodores with Easy, so not Lionel Richie on his own, I'm afraid, if you put that. The Commodores. American Pie by Don McLean, and Maggie May by Rod Stewart. Question 7. What was the title of Girls Aloud's debut hit single? It was Sound of the Underground. Definitely still think that's the best one. Question 8. Who made the UK singles chart first, The Righteous or the Walker Brothers? With 64 compared to 65, the Righteous Brothers were first. Question 9. Which acts had the 1980s hit singles called You're the Best Thing, New Song, and Personal Jesus? It was the Style Council with You're the Best Thing, Howard Jones with New Song, and Depeche Mode with Personal Jesus. Question 10. By what name is Farouk Bulsara better known in the music world? That is the real name of Freddie Mercury, the lead singer from Queen. Question 11. Cliff Richard, Kylie Minogue and Gunn had a UK hit single with which 3 devilish songs? It is Devil Woman, Better the Devil You Know, and Race with the Devil. Question 12. Which 3 acts had the best-selling 1990s singles called Man on the Moon, Sit Down, and One of Us? For 3 points, it's Man on the Moon by R.E.M., Sit Down by James, and One of Us by Joan Osborne. Question 13. These are the days of the open hand is the opening line to which original hit single by which act? It's Praying for Time by George Michael. Question 14. The Crickets, the Wailers and the Waves were chart-topping acts backing bands, or which chart-topping acts backing bands? It's Buddy Holly and the Crickets, Bob Marley and the Wailers, and Katrina and the Waves. And finally, question 15. Which 3 acts had the best-selling noughties singles called Milkshake, American Boy, and Can't Stand Me Now? For 3 points, it's Khalees, Estelle, and the Libertines. Right. Have a guess now in the comments what you think the missing words are for this headline. And also, if you'd like me to repeat any of those answers, you can let me know now. People find it difficult to get rid of their grandmother's teeth. Interesting. Good shout. All right. Let's see what other ones you've got. To get rid of the body. Oh, yeah. Brilliant. Okay. Eric says the smell. People find it difficult to get rid of their grandmother's smell. It just works, doesn't it? I mean, they all work. They're all good guesses. Any more for any more? Please do. This is really funny. Let's see if we get any more guesses in. I'll give you another moment. And then I will reveal that to you. And we can see if anybody else got any points. Okay. Let's remove the blocker then. People find it difficult to get rid of their grandmother's tin of buttons. Apparently so. Yeah, completely innocent there. A tin of buttons. I know somebody who is terrified of buttons. Can't have button-up shirts. Can't be anywhere near them. Terrified of them. Yeah, very strange, but fair enough. Each to their own. But yeah, there you go. Don't worry if you didn't get any points for that one. But tally up your scores anyway. Let's see how well you did in general. And you can add your bonus points on if you did get any for the Abby and Rue question at the start of the evening. Don't forget, if you haven't done that already. Let's see how many points you guys have got overall then for this pop music round. And on the off chance you've got any for the tin of buttons. Yeah, I didn't put this game, these are headlines in, thinking any of you would actually get any points. I just, did it for the laugh, really, to see how it would go. So I'm amazed we've already got one that's got one correct. Well done to Sue again for that last one. Okay, some scores coming in then. Excellent. Let's have a look at these then. So we've got Sue in the Donuts scoring 23 points. Eric says 24 points for the Blackpool Bar Stewards. 14 points for Jan this round. Talking about fears, there's an urban legend that the Undertaker is afraid of cucumbers. Amazing. That's such a random thing to be afraid of. Right, 22 points for Pinky and the Brain as well. Another good score there. Excellent stuff. All right. Please do continue to comment if you want to add in your scores and you haven't done so already. You can do. We're going to move on, but of course the chat remains on screen, so just carry on regardless there. There's another good song, Carry On Regardless. That's a nice one, isn't it? Okay, round number 3 then is our anti-St. George's Day round. It's all about famous Georges. And you have got yourself another headline there. Guess the missing words. Hold your guesses till the end, I think, for that one again. I think that's worked quite nicely so far. So a piano playing what inspires new composition? Steve Jobs had a fear of buttons as well. Oh. Is that why he designed the iPhone? So there wouldn't be any buttons on it, I wonder. Or was it just the buttons you find on shirts? Okay, so famous Georges then. All of these questions then are alternative, should we say. It's an alternative St. George's Day quiz round. Millie says 11 points, well done. Apparently that's why he likes touchscreen, etc. Yeah, I thought so, yeah. Fair enough. So, 15 questions then, as always, 1 point for each correct answer. There are multiple point questions again, and it's all about famous Georges. Okay. Here we go then, everybody. Your final full question round starts now. Question number 1. Which 2 puppets were regulars alongside George in Rainbow? Which 2 puppets were regulars alongside George in Rainbow? If you don't know what Rainbow is, you're probably too young to remember it, but it was a kids' TV show. I used to love it when I was really young. Yeah. Very, very silly. But yeah. 1 point for each correct answer there. In fact, we should say 3. 2 of them were hand puppets, shall we say, and the other one was somebody in a suit, but you could still class it as a puppet, I guess. Let's say 1 point for each of those. Let's do 3. Yeah, I'm going to update my little notes here and just... Oh no, the question asks about George, doesn't it? It's Jeffrey with him, isn't it? That's why. Yeah, okay, so that's why the question's worded that way. Sorry. So yes, name the 2 other puppet characters. Yeah, let's do it like that. Puppet characters who accompany George in Rainbow. Right, question number 2 now. Question 2. Which actor played the bungling Prince George in Blackadder the Third? Which actor played the bungling Prince George in Blackadder the Third? Blackadder, fun fact, was nearly cancelled after the first series, which is why the concept of it changing to different eras every series they did became a thing. Yeah, because it wasn't as well received the first series, and it very nearly got cancelled, which would be a travesty. Classic it turned out to be. Question 2 again. Which actor played the bungling Prince George in Blackadder the Third? Question 3. Which 3 Georges famously played Wheeler Dealer Arthur Daly, Lieutenant Sulu in Star Trek originally, and the A-Team's original Hannibal Smith? Which 3 Georges famously originally played Wheeler Dealer Arthur Daly, Lieutenant Sulu in Star Trek, and the A-Team's Hannibal Smith? 1 point for each. Excuse me. Yes, 1 point for each correct actor there. Which 3 Georges famously played Arthur Daly, Sulu, and Hannibal Smith? Question 4. How many King Georges have ruled the United Kingdom? How many King Georges have ruled the United Kingdom? I guess, actually, it may have been just England, depending on how far back we go. But you know what I mean. How many King Georges have we had, for those who are residents of England at least? For 1 point. Question number 5. What are the surnames of the only Georges to become President of the USA? What are the surnames of the only Georges to become President of the USA? 2 different surnames. So 1 point for each. The only Georges to become President of the USA. What are their surnames? Okay, your next question then. Question number 6. Which George's catchphrase was, "It turned out nice again"? Which George's catchphrase was, "It turned out nice again"? Okay, next question then. Who was the last British Prime Minister named George? Who was the last British Prime Minister named George? Question number 8 now. Question 8. Which actor played Inspector George Gently on TV? Which actor played Inspector George Gently on TV? Question number 9 now. Which 3 Georges had UK hits with Faith, Give Me the Night, and Everything I Own? Which 3 Georges had UK hits with Faith, Give Me the Night, and Everything I Own? 1 point for each again. Question number 10 now. Question 10. Margaret and Hans Ray wrote children's stories about which famous George? Margaret and Hans Ray wrote children's stories about which famous George? Okay, your next question. Question 11. Which George was the European Footballer of the Year in 1968? Which George was the European Footballer of the Year in 1968? Question number 12 now. Question 12. Which composer wrote Rhapsody in Blue? Which composer wrote Rhapsody in Blue? Question number 13 now. What was the surname of TV's George and Mildred? What was the surname of TV's George and Mildred? Question 14 now. Question 14. Which supermarket chain sells George clothing range? Which supermarket chain sells the George clothing range? And your final question is for 3 points. Which three Georges directed Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope, The Night of the Living Dead, and Good Night and Good Luck? Which three Georges directed Star Wars A New Hope, The Night of the Living Dead, and Good Night and Good Luck? 1 point for each of those Georges as well. And if you need any questions repeated again, let me know in the comments. Whilst you're doing that and thinking of that, I'll do my usual reminder that there's a link in the description of every video which has links to everything you can go to support me. If you're on other forms of social media, you can follow me there. You'll see them pop up on screen throughout the evening, as we do with every quiz show. So Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that kind of stuff. I've recently been asked on TikTok to change the format a little of what I do there. Some people have asked if I can do the answer after each question. So whereas normally with pub quizzes and quizzes like this for you guys, I do all the questions and then all the answers. But on TikTok, everything's like so instant. If people don't get what they're looking for from a video instantly, they might scroll away and go to the next video. So a couple of people have said, why don't you try doing that from out of the blue? And I have tried to do it. It just doesn't feel right. Don't like it. I mean, I'll do it for a bit and see how it goes. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Would you prefer it if I did that here? I don't think it works. It might not work on long form quizzes, but short form, we'll give it a try, I suppose. Okay, alright, I've given you a bit of thinking time there. No requests have come in for repeats. So what we'll do then is I will go through the answers as we did before, and then I'll reveal the missing word from our final headline of the evening. Question number 1 then. What are the two puppets that were regularly alongside George in Rainbow? They are Bungle and Zippy. Question 2. Which actor played the bungling Prince George in Blackadder III? That was Hugh Laurie. Question 3. Which three Georges famously played Wheeler Dealer Arthur Daly, Lieutenant Sulu in Star Trek, and the A-Team's Hannibal Smith? It's George Cole who played Arthur Daly. Lieutenant Sulu was George Takei, and the A-Team's Hannibal Smith was George Peppard. Question 4. How many King Georges have ruled? It is 6. Question 5. What are the surnames of the only Georges to become President of the USA? Well, there was, of course, George Washington, and there were 2 George Bushes. George Bush Sr. and George W. Bush, respectively. Question 6, which George's catchphrase was, "It turned out nice again," was George Formby, famous actor from the 1930s and 40s, I think. Yeah, it turned out nice again, George Formby. Question 7, who was the last British Prime Minister named George? That is David Lloyd George. Question 8, which actor played Inspector George Gently on TV? It is Martin Shaw. Question 9, which 3 Georges had UK hits with Faith, Give Me the Night and Everything I Own? It is George Michael with Faith, Give Me the Night is by George Benson, and Everything I Own by Boy George. Question 10, Margaret and Hans Ray wrote children's stories about which famous George? It is Curious George. And often mistakenly is depicted with having a tail, because it's Curious George was a monkey, but he wasn't. He didn't have a tail. It's one of those Mandela effect things where everybody just thinks they remember it a certain way and that's how it was, and then you find out actually it wasn't like that at all. But yeah, Curious George was a little monkey, does not have a tail. Right, question 12. Which composer wrote Rhapsody in Blue? It is George Gershwin. I may have just skipped a question there. Question 11 was which George was European Footballer of the Year in 1968? That is George Best. So yes, George Gershwin for number 12. Question 13, what was the surname of TV's George and Mildred? That is Roper. Question 14, the supermarket chain that sells the George clothing range is Asda. And question 15, the 3 Georges. One directed Star Wars Episode 4 A New Hope. That was, of course, George Lucas. The director of The Night of the Living Dead, the master of horror, George A. Romero. And Good Night and Good Luck was directed by George Clooney. Okay. Again, let me know if you want any of those repeated. And have a guess now at what you think was piano playing that inspired a new composition. Have a guess. This one's easier to guess than the last one was because it is just the one word. I won't narrow it down too much more because I want to see what funny answers you can come up with. Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, so Chris says a piano playing pianist inspires new composition. That would be brilliant. Piano playing pianist, really? You can see it happening. Sue and the Donuts say piano playing chimp. Eric says a piano playing cat. Gabby's gone with llama again because why not? Yay, I'm a llama again. Wait. Emperor's New Groove, by the way. Check it out if you've not seen that. Love that film. So funny. Okay, right, some good guesses there, and I can tell you, most excitingly, that one of you has got it correct. Gabby says probably dog, though. One of you has got it correct. Let's remove the blocker and see what the missing word is. The piano-playing cat inspired new composition. Yep, cat is the answer. Eric, well done. You get 2 bonus points for the Blackpool Bar Stewards there. Excellent stuff. Tally up your scores then, everybody, and let's see how well you did. Let me know in the comments, and then we will move on to our first game show round, which will be, as usual, our survey says, our family fortunes type question round. How are we doing for time? Oh, we're doing good for time. Excellent. Okay. Yeah, let's see how well you did in that round then. 21 points for donuts. Good stuff. Okay. Quick side note, if there was a llama that could play the piano, that would be incredible. I mean, cat, you can kind of understand, because, you know, they've got little paws, they could just about manage that. Or just walk over it and there's a song for you, you know. But a llama, that would be, that would be so good. 9 points for me, Jan says. Turns out I don't know many Georges. That's okay. Pinky in the Brain, I've got 14. A tricky round for us. Yeah, do you know, as I was reading through those middle questions in particular, I'm thinking some of these are pretty tricky questions, aren't they? So yeah, no surprise that we didn't get as many high scoring results in this one. Eric says 20 plus 2 plus 1 for the bonus as well. So 23 for Blackpool Bar Stewards. Oh, this was the last chance. You had to use your bonus point, by the way. So if you did get one, you can add it on and update your score there. But yes, 23 points. Very well done there. Just edging out the donuts for that one. Good stuff. Eric says we loved that round. Good. Oh, yeah, so it's a bit different, isn't it? Yeah, I like to mix things up time to time. All because it's St. George's Day apparently coming up. An anti-St. George's Day round. Okay, let's move on then to Our Survey Says. Right, so as per usual then, I'll bring the question up on screen. You can guess in the comments as much as you like, and let's see how quickly you can collectively get all the answers from the top 5 here from this survey. And the question this time round is, other than animals, name something you need to go hunting for or can go hunting for. Other than animals, name something you can go hunting for. So, yeah, start guessing in the comments and let's see how we go with this one. Okay, we've got some in already. Eric says keys. You go hunting for your keys. Let's see then. Is it there? Let me just check my answers here. I wonder. Is it there? Ooh, let's go there. Lost keys. Well done. You go hunting for your keys. Excellent. That is on the board. What else have we got here then? After that, we've got Jan saying discount, and then Chris and there we go. Chris and Millie say bargains. So discounts and bargains, I think we can all roll up into one. Is it there though? It is, yes. A bargain or a discount you go hunting for. That's the top answer. House hunting, says Gabby. Is house hunting there? Let's check the list. House hunting, is it there? It's not there. It's not at least in the top 5, I'm afraid. It's a great shout, but house hunting, not there. Treasure hunting. Sue and the Donuts have gone with treasure hunting. So, is treasure hunting there? It is indeed. That's the second most popular answer. Oh, wedding dress hunting, says Millie. Is that there? No, it's not one of the top 5. Easter eggs have come in though. Easter eggs from Millie as well. Recently, of course, it was Easter. The kids did an Easter egg hunt in the garden with their cousins. So much chocolate. So much chocolate. They did good though. But is it there on the list most importantly? It is. Well done. That's the third answer. Some other guesses then. We've got gold. I think we can lump that in with treasure, can't we? If you're going hunting for gold, you would be treasure hunting. So we'll include that in the second answer there. I'll give you clues then for the last one, without making it too obvious. You might hunt for one of these online, or you might go somewhere, I don't know, in town maybe. But most people these days would hunt for one of these online. Most people. I go hunting for snacks a lot. Yes, high five that, Gabby. It's not going to be on the list, I'm afraid, but definitely agree with you there. We do love finding different snacks. Most definitely. Millie says holiday. Do you go hunting for holidays? It's not there, I'm afraid. A mate, a present. Not there either. You might speak to somebody to help you get one of these. There are even people who get paid to help you find one of these, but it's not a holiday. It's interesting. This is the one that you're all struggling to guess. I wonder what that says about us, or says about you as people, that it's the last thing on your mind, which is totally fine. It's totally fine. Pet. It's not a pet. Okay, Ed's gone with date. Nope. I can tell you that date was the 6th answer. I just didn't want to add more onto this list and just leave it as the top 5. Date was the 6th answer. Gabby has said job. Now, is job going to be there? Let's have a look. That is the missing answer. Gabby's got it. Job hunting. Of course it is. Yes, there you go. There's the top 5. Very well done if you got correct answers there, everybody. Very quick little last survey says question for you. Job hunting rounds off the top 5 there with bargains, treasure, Easter eggs, and lost keys. Okay, let's go over now to our catchphrase round. Oh, hello. Cover that back up quickly. All right. Okay. So, catchphrase round. Then there are 3 different catchphrases I've got for you this evening. They are all genuine catchphrase clips that I've put into the backgrounds here behind those squares. So we'll go through one at a time and we'll see how well you do. In order to guess, though, you do need to get one of our general knowledge questions correct in the comments, and you get to guess first if you do. And then I'll spin that wheel and we'll see which square we reveal. So, your first question is, name one of the men, and do guess in the comments if you're new to this, guess in the comments if you're watching live. Name one of the men that are the suspects in the traditional game of Cluedo. Name one of the men who is a suspect in the traditional game of Cluedo. Jump in the comments, have a guess. First one to guess one correctly will get to have a guess first. We're going to be removing square number 1. Okay, some good guesses have been coming in here. Gabby says Professor Plum, as does Millie. Sue says Colonel Mustard, as does Chris. Eric says Professor Plum. Alright, okay, the first one then on my screen here is Gabby saying Professor Plum. So yes, there were 3 you could have had for this one. Reverend Green, Colonel Mustard and Professor Plum. So Gabby, I'm going to remove number 1, Pinky in the Brain. You get to have a guess first. That's all you can see though. We're going to carry on. Feel free to have your first guess, and if you're not sure, do say pass in the chat. Okay, question number 2 then, we'll do the same again. Which creatures gather collectively in a shiver? I'll give you multiple choice. Is it sharks, scorpions, or skunks? Which creatures gather collectively in a shiver? Is it sharks, scorpions, or skunks? Let's spin the wheel and see which square we're going to be removing. Yep, Gabby passing, no problem. That's alright, it's a bit tricky at that one, isn't it? We are going to be removing number 6 next. Ooh, that might be a bit more helpful. Millie's gone with skunk. Who else is going to have a guess then? Oh, before I reveal the answers, I will, of course, give people time to respond. Is it a shiver of sharks, scorpions, or skunks? Have a guess now in the comments. Alright, so Chris has gone with sharks, as has Gabby. Anybody else care to have a guess for this one? Sue's gone with scorpions. Okay, I'm going to call it there. So the correct answer is sharks. Interestingly, it must have been very, very close because different orders on different screens. But Gabby, on the main screen that you can all see, you said sharks first. So we are going to go with you again to guess first as I remove number 6. And I hope that has removed for you because annoyingly my screen is frozen. Let me just check what's going on here. Oh boy. That's a pain. Right, I'm just going to try and flick back from one screen to another and see if it sorts it out. Oh, you've gone with Wishbone. Great. Okay, so you can see what's going on. That's really helpful because, annoyingly, everything's frozen on my screen. So, but Wishbone is the correct answer, amazingly. Let me just see if I can... I'm going to press the buttons and hopefully it works for you. I think that's all of them removed. Like I said, it's completely frozen for me. So just keep updating the chat and letting me know how things are going. But that is it for that one. It is Wishbone. Very well played. I don't know if it's going to let me do this now, though. Okay, I'm going to have to hope for the best here. Give me a second. I'm just going to reset the board. Can somebody let me know in the chat if all the board is covered back up again? And if so, or if not, what's missing? I think it should be all covered up again. Right, let's close that down and we can go over to the other wheel. I'm just going to refresh the chat as well and make sure that things are okay. The board is covered, thank you. Good, right, okay, all right. So let me just change this over then to the next one. So we can turn that one off and that one off. Okay, right, so let's go to another question then. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm playing blind here. Okay, so your next question, I can see the chat in a separate screen though. So put which of these saints' days is the first in terms of when it's celebrated in the UK? St. George's Day, St. Andrew's Day, or St. Patrick's Day? Which of those is celebrated first in the calendar year? Number one's missing from the wheel. Okay, hold on. It shouldn't be because I switched over to a different one, but let me just open it again. Hold on. No, not that wheel. There we go. Can you let me know if it's alright again now? Thank you for guessing again. Keep the guesses coming in. Let's see who gets it first or who's got it right the fastest. The three choices again: St. George, St. Andrew, St. Patrick. Which is the first in the calendar year celebrated? Right, I'm going to spin the wheel as well. It's a full wheel on my screen, by the way. Hopefully you can see a correct one now, but if not, you'll have to trust me. Right, Millie and Chris and Sue have all gone for Patrick. The number I'm going to be removing from the wheel is number 5. And Gabby's gone with St. Andrews. The answer is St. Patrick's. Millie, you get to guess first. Again, hopefully that removed number 5. It's so annoying. Let me see. Alright, I'm going to try something. It'll either fix things, do nothing, or break everything. Okay, it's... Oh! Yes! It worked! It worked! I'm invincible! Amazing. Alright, we're back. We're back. Play it cool, Trig. Play it cool. Right. Everything's moving again now. I did it. Right, okay. So there's number 5. That would normally be more helpful. But there is something quite key missing from that one. If you're not sure, say pass. I'm going to move on and ask the next question now anyway. Okay, so... Okay, your next question then. Dave Mather was a notorious gunman in the Wild West of America. But was his nickname Dangerous, Mysterious, or Handsome Dave Mather? So multiple choice again. Dangerous, Mysterious, or Handsome? The notorious gunman from the Wild West of America. Genuinely called Dave Mather. The reason that's a question is because the guy I work for, when I host my quizzes, when I do my discos, all that kind of stuff, his name is Dave Mather. Same name. Okay, so let's see what the guesses are then. Everybody have a guess in the comments. Everything's working again now, okay? Although I should have removed number 5 from the wheel. If it comes up again, I'll just remove it and spin again. Let's spin now and see what number comes up. Hopefully it'll come up again in a moment. Ooh, nearly. No, it's going to be number 4, isn't it? Okay, number 4. Right, so we're going to remove number 4. Let's see in the chat then who's got the right answer. And Eric, yes, quote from GoldenEye, you legend. I'm so glad somebody picked up on that. I'd give you a bonus point. No Man's Land, no. Handsome, dangerous, dangerous. Any more guesses for that question then? Does anybody else want to have a guess? Was it dangerous, mysterious, or handsome? Let me just refresh and see. No more guesses on that one then. Okay, I'm afraid you have all got it wrong. It's mysterious, Dave Mather. We move on to the next question. The next question then is, which American city could you visit the Liberty Bell? Which American city could you visit the Liberty Bell? Have a guess in the comments again, and let's see. Oh, and no, Millie, so I've just realised what you were guessing when you said No Man's Land. It's a very good guess, I must say, given what you've got to work with there. But I just realised what you were saying when you guessed that, and unfortunately it's not right. But it's a good guess. Okay, we've had a guess for New York. Jan says Atlantic City. Keep on guessing, please. Gabby's gone with Philadelphia. Philadelphia is the correct answer, right. So we're removing number 4 officially now. Well done. Oh, let's do this then. Hold on. Oh, I keep forgetting to put the sound back on now. Alright, anyway, number 4 has been removed. Have a look at that then. It is Philadelphia. So Gabby, Pinky in the Brain, you get to guess first. What you really want is for 2 or 3 would probably be the most helpful. I'll tell you that now. Right, I'm going to move on to the next question, but feel free to have a guess. In which American city could you visit the Willis Tower? In which American city could you visit the Willis Tower? One of you has already said that when you incorrectly guessed where the Liberty Bell was. So quickly put those guesses back in and let's see who's got it first. It's not Lost in Space, no. It's not Lost the Plot. No. You're all in the right kind of ballpark. Kind of ballpark. Millie's gone straight in with Chicago. And Jan's gone back in with Atlantic City. No, it is... Let me just double check. I'm not just making things up here. Yeah, the Willis Tower is in Chicago. So... let's remove number 3 from the wheel. Millie, you get to guess first, so be quick on this one. Oh. Can you work it out? If Millie doesn't get it right, anybody's allowed to have a guess. Let's have a look. Let me just remove that from the wheel anyway. Middle of nowhere, correct answer, well done. It is indeed the middle of nowhere. Let's clear the rest of the board and show you the full picture. I'm sure the rest of you worked it out as well. There we go. Middle of nowhere. Good stuff. Right, so let's put the board back together again and we'll do our final one of the evening, I think, now. So we want this one. This one I think is probably the trickiest, but it's still a genuine one from the actual show. So let's see. I think I need to add these back in now. I should have got this ready beforehand. My apologies. Hold on. Right, let's add these back in. This is very unprofessional of me. Hold on. Right. There we go. Right. Boom. We're good to go. Right, let's spin the wheel then. Your next question then is, oh well, I've revealed two already. That's the problem with putting numbers into these things. Well, you've got a head start, haven't you? Okay, let's go to this one then. In which American city could you visit the Eiffel Tower? And we're going to be removing 8. Thankfully, absolutely none of those pictures is useful to you for guessing this one. So don't worry too much about that. So yeah, in which American city could you visit the Eiffel Tower? Have a guess in the comments. I'm going to remove number 8 when somebody has got that correct. And let's see what you think of that. Oh, everybody's going with Las Vegas there. Everybody. That came through very, very quickly indeed. So that's Ed, Millie, Gabby, loads of you guessing Las Vegas. Chris as well. Let me just refresh the chat here as well, see who got it in first. Gabby. Eric. Eric was first there with that one. So let's remove number 8 then. Does that help at all? Maybe. No, maybe not. Looks. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one. Okay, let's remove 8 from the wheel then. 3 and 4 also need to be removed. I'll just remove those if they come up again. Right, your next question is, and feel free to guess in the comments, of course, Chris. Oh, Eric, rather. Right, the Sun newspaper labelled which MP Paddy Pants Down after a scandal? The Sun newspaper labelled which MP Paddy Pants Down after a scandal? Guess the name. Thank you. Eric says no idea, so anybody else can have a guess at the catchphrase as well. But what was the name of the MP that was labelled Paddy Pants Down after a scandal? Please have a guess in the comments for that one. Let's spin the wheel and see which one we're removing. If it's 3 or 4, I can just take them away straight away, and it is going to be 3. That's good. So I will spin the wheel again. And Millie, Paddy Ashdown is of course correct. So I'm just removing 3. Let's spin the wheel for you. You were the fastest ever. Looks like Eric and Chris, you're both straight in there with Paddy Ashdown as well. And Gabby, yes. Right, number 6 then. Millie gets to guess first. Bit more useful there. What could it be? Millie, you get to guess first, and then anybody else can guess straight after that. Let's remove 6 from the wheel. Let's see if somebody's going to get it right this time. Feel free to say pass, though, if you're not sure. And then we can let some other people have a go as well. And I might just ask the next question anyway while we're going. But you do get to have first shout. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to ask the next question, but I'm keeping an eye on the chat as we go. Right. What was the nickname of the German V1 flying bomb? What was the nickname of the German V1 flying bomb? That is your next question. When you point the finger, there are 3 pointing back at you. No. Good guess. Good guess. It looks like a hand and fingers there for sure, but no. That is not the right answer. Anybody else can have a guess now as well. And of course, at the question I just asked as well, Gabby says, standing out like a sore thumb. And Eric's gone with Doodlebug. Well, Doodlebug is correct. I'll say that much now. But standing out like a sore thumb, is that the correct answer? Let me just check. It is the correct answer. Technically, it's sticking out like a sore thumb, but it's close enough. Let's reveal the board for you there, and I can show you the full picture. Sticking out like a sore thumb, standing out like a sore thumb is close enough. I will give you the win for that one there, Gabby. I think that's fair enough. Very well done. There you go. So 3 official, unofficially acquired, shall we say, catchphrase videos there for you. Hope you like that. And we move on to our final screen before we close off for the evening. And that is, of course, the end. So Yes, ignore the date across the top. Need to change that. So that's the end of the quiz, guys. Thank you all for coming down again. It's Patreon quiz next week, so I look forward to seeing all the Patreon people there. Haven't decided what we're going to do yet, so feel free to let me know what your favourites are and what you'd like to do. Could be speed quizzing, we could do blockbusters, we could do Jeopardy. There's loads of different things we do these days. But if you have any preference and you can definitely make it next week, then let me know. 8:30 it'll be on Tuesday. And for everybody else, hopefully I'll see you on the following week where we're back here on Facebook Live, bringing you another Big Quiz 19. Okay, that's your lot for this evening then, everybody. Take care of yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you all same time next time for more of the same fun. Cheers. Good night.